Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 3 of Uncle Jackie's Gumbo. A little bit of this and a whole lot of that. Episode 3 theme is the vaccine and the cockroach. That's right, you heard me right. Today's theme is the vaccine and the cockroach. A little review of our previous shows. You'll remember that we talked about the dinosaur. And why did the dinosaur become extinct? Huge, gigantic, mammoth creatures all of a sudden no longer on the face of the earth. And all we have is theories as to why they became extinct. Just nothing but theories. But yet here we have this little bitty creature, this little bitty bug, this bug that's at the bottom of the bug food chain. It's like the catfish of the bottom feeders of the bugs. A catfish is a bottom feeder because it goes to the bottom and gets all the leftover icky stuff that's at the bottom of the river or wherever you're gonna try to catch them. And the same thing with the cockroach. They eat all of our garbage. They eat all the leftover crumbs and everything else like that. But yet they're still surviving. In fact, they have found fossils. Yes, fossils of cockroaches dated over 300 million years of age. And that's actually before the dinosaurs roamed the face of the earth. So the cockroaches were actually here before the dinosaurs arrived on planet Earth. Now, how did they arrive? I don't know. How did they evolve? We don't know. But we know that the cockroach was here before, during, and after the dinosaurs left. And for all its worth, all the science that's been evolving and research and chemistry and biology, all they have is theories as to why the dinosaur went extinct. But the little bitty cockroach survived all of that. They outlived the dinosaur. And all it could come up with is the fact that they have an ability to adapt to change. Cockroaches have the ability to adapt to change, and they continuously resist any eradication efforts from humans. Wow. So, we should be, studying the cockroach. How in the world was this simple little cockroach with a teeny little bitty brain able to survive, volcanoes, tornadoes, hurricanes, atomic bombs, everything? Glaciers, whatnot, everything that nature could throw at it, and man, it's still around. The cockroach is still around. So I think we ought to be researching the cockroach, to tell you the truth. We got something to learn from the cockroach, from Mr. Cockroach, yes indeed, and Miss Cockroach. Now there have been other species that outlived the dinosaurs as well. That's crocodiles, snakes, bees, sharks, horseshoe crabs, sea stars, lobsters, and last but not least, the duck-billed platypus. Yes, the duck-billed platypus itself outlived the dinosaur. But the cockroach is the only one that they found that was actually here before the dinosaurs, during the dinosaurs, and after the dinosaurs. So, again, the extinction of the dinosaurs happened only because of theory reasons. But we know that the coronavirus can in fact make possible the extinction of the human race. So when humans become extinct, there's a high probability that the cockroach will still be around. In fact, humans will be gone, cockroaches will still be here, and there'll be hundreds of warehouses filled with raid. I mean, hundreds of warehouses with cans of Raid with no humans to grab the can and spray. In fact, I grabbed a can of Raid last night and was spraying for cockroaches. I was like running around my counter. There were 3 of them, and they were going after breadcrumbs that was left from my toaster. And I got all 3 of them. But you know, they're in Cockroach Hab and laughing at me and saying, "Okay, Bucko, we're going to have the final laugh because you're going to be gone and our cousins are still going to be here." Wow. Now later on, in effect, in a little bit, we're going to be talking about this week's recipe. And it's a quick fix antipasta. It's very quick, it's very fast, it's for when you're hungry, but we're not going to get to that yet. Present is the band, and again, the smallest harmonica in the world, which is now called my sidekick. Dr. Fauci says we may have a vaccine by the first of 2021. Blow the whistle on that, dude. Oh, boy. What vaccine? There's at least 150 companies that are working on vaccines right now. Several weeks ago, Merck came up and said, well, we've experimented on 50 people, and they have formed the antibody for the vaccine. And so now they're going into a deeper study with 30,000 people. And then just the other day, another company comes forward and says they got the vaccine. Well, who's got the vaccine? Vaccine. Who's got the vaccine? I mean, it's got to be a variation of theme. It's obviously a mad rush to be the pharmaceutical company that comes up with the vaccine, because whoever's the first in this mad rush, this mad gold rush, is going to make a lot of money, because you got to distribute it to the entire planet, you know. But what I foresee is that you're going to have like several companies coming up with a variation on how to come up with this vaccine, and I don't think one vaccine is going to work on everybody. Now that might be pessimistic, you know, but as far as I can see, you got 150 companies working on various solutions, and they can't be working on the same type of vaccine. So when Dr. Fauci says we may have a vaccine, Dr. Fauci, please blow the whistle on them. What vaccine? What company? Which one of the 150 pharmaceutical companies is going to come up with the vaccine that's going to like take us out of this pandemic? Wow. And then on the other hand, you got people to this day who won't take the flu shot. I used to not take the flu shot, but boy, man, for the past 10 years I took the flu shot, and I'm glad to do, because in cold season, when it's running rampant, you're glad that you took that flu shot. You know, and you might get the sniffles and you might get a little sinusitis, but it stops it right there. It really does. It helps stop you from developing something more serious. The truth of the matter is that when we get sick from the flu, from bacteria, from virus, 9 out of 10 times it comes through the eyes. It comes through the eyes. So, you know, they talk about, you know, covering your mouth, covering your nose. But, you know, it's also very important to cover your eyes. I wear sunglasses a lot. Man, I was in a restaurant the other day, and all the tables were socially spaced. And I wanted to have a little lunch, you know. And so you got to wear your mask when you go into the restaurant. And when you sit down, you can take the mask off. And when you take the mask off, then you start to eat. You can have your food, and your waitress or waiter is going to wear a mask. There was a man at the next table. It was a socially spaced table. He was there with his son. And he went to sneeze. He took his mask off in order to sneeze. I mean, that's why you got the mask on. You want to keep the mask on so that when you sneeze, the particles don't fly all over the place. You know, that other people can breathe in or it can come in through your eyes. You know, that's why they tell you to wash your hands and don't wash your face and wash your. Don't touch your face because 9 out of 10 times the bacteria that's floating around comes in through your eyes. Now, when there is a vaccine, is there going to be a side effect? Will it work? When will we get it? When will we finally get this vaccine? Because it's got a lot of places to go before it gets to average regular citizen. You know, I think most everybody would agree it should go to the frontline workers, the people who are actually working with people who have COVID-19. They need it. They need the vaccine because every day they got to wear all of these big suits and with oxygen and stuff like that because of risking their lives when they're working with these serious COVID-19 patients. Also reviewing, last time we talked about the fact that they talk to us a lot about wearing a mask, washing your hands, and socially spacing, but they don't talk too much about our immune system. So it's important to build up your immune system, do whatever you have to do to the immune system, and they say exercise, proper rest, and a good diet. Green leafy vegetables, of course, protein, and there's a doctor, Dr. Mary, who prescribes, who swears by at least 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, and you can pick the pills up at any pharmacy. It's not going to be the sure cure-all, but it's going to help you out. I've talked to several people who said when the vaccine comes out, they're not going to get it. I think the majority of the people are going to be waiting in line and begging for that vaccine. As long as the majority of us get that COVID-19 vaccine so that we could stop wearing masks, we can open up the music clubs, we can open up the bars, people can get their jobs back. Some of us are going to get our jobs back. That's the other irritant right now. It's like the government is stopping to give people unemployment benefits. Now you're going to have to do 3 job searches. But at the same time, the governor of Louisiana is telling people, well, he's making these bars close and shut down and putting people out of work. But at the same time, he's eliminating jobs. The people won't be able to get benefits unless they do job searches. And so there's less jobs. More people are going to have to do job searches because you put a lot of people out of work. It's topsy-turvy, man. It's topsy-turvy. Look, if you're going to shut a business down, you're going to put somebody out of work, you're responsible for that. Therefore, you should give them, a correct amount of unemployment, at least to live by, at least to buy groceries and pay their basic bills until we get to the point where we get a vaccine where we can open up the bars again, open up the restaurants, open up the venues where we can have concerts and we can have Mardi Gras, and we can bring tourists back into the city of New Orleans. And that goes for everywhere else. I watch a lot of game shows, and it's like, you just won a trip to Belize. You ain't going to Belize now. Not unless your whole family's got a mask on. There's some people getting creative about it by renting out a UV and then traveling around by themselves and trying to find some kind of deserted spot of the forest. Oh, boy. Well, now we're coming to our next segment here. And this segment is going to be our weekly recipe. Now, this recipe doesn't have anything to do with London at all, but London Bridge is falling down. Come on. There's a good metaphor there. This week's recipe is a quick fix antipasta. It's very simple. And you put this together when you come in from a long day and you don't feel like spending time in front of the stove cooking. And you need something to hold you over. This should do it. This should do the trick. Let's hear it for quick fix antipasta. You need 2 eggs. You need pasta and Italian allspice and olive oil. That's it. Simple. Okay, first of all, you start boiling that pasta. Start boiling that pasta and have a strainer ready to go. Then you're going to take a little cup or a little saucer, break your 2 eggs in it, and start working it, scrambling those eggs inside the cup. You might add a little milk. You might add a little half and half. You might add a little touch of olive oil on top and some Italian old spice with Italian spices in it. Okay, with fennel and all the other little Italian spices. It's just going to make it a little bit tastier. Okay, so the pasta's boiling. Then you take the pasta, and you've already beaten your eggs. Your eggs is on the side, ready to go. And there's a reason for it. Pasta is boiling. It's ready. It's beyond al dente. You're going to throw that into the strainer, and you got to work this fast. Then you're going to take your fry pan, put oil on the bottom, heat that pan up, get it ready to go. Then you're going to throw the pasta back into the pan, and then your eggs, which you've already prepared as if they're going to be scrambled eggs, you throw that on top of the hot pasta, and you start stirring. You got to stay with it. Don't walk away. You got to stay with it. Stay with it. What's going to happen is the egg is going to coagulate on top of the pasta. And then you add a little oil, and you just keep on stirring it, working it until the egg is kind of cooked. It's got to be cooked, and it's going to coagulate into small morsels, and it's going to be well distributed over the pasta. You throw that into the plate, and you got to eat it right then and there. That's not a plate a dish that you could eat later on, but it's absolutely delicious. My mother made it for me thousands of times because I would come and say, "Mother, I'm hungry," and it might have been late, and it just wasn't enough time to sit down and prepare a whole meal. But she could always put that together at short order, and it was satisfying. After which, she'd fry me a little hamburger or something like that, But that was a quick fix antipasta, and it's guaranteed to hold you over. Okay, now we're going to move on to our last segment. I put these questions out to our listeners on Facebook. Here's the question. Dr. Fauci announced that we may have a vaccine as early as January 2021. Please name 3 things that you feel will help keep you going strong between now and then. Okay, I got various variations on this, and I'll name a few of them. Here's 3 right here. One is seeing people follow through with the safety mandates. That means, when you go to grocery shopping, seeing people wearing masks, socially spaced, and washing their hands. To this person, another person wearing a mask is a sign of respect. Also, too, when you shop and you're seeing everybody else in masks, you feel a little bit more secure. Then, he says, people showing more concern for teachers and school workers as they attempt to get back to the classroom. Okay, hey, we've seen a spike in COVID-19, and yet the government is pushing us to get back into the classroom, push those teachers and to get back into the classroom. Come on, give us a break. There's a spike. There's a big spike, and you're going to be putting all of these people in danger. There's got to be alternative. We've got to continue on with the alternative education possibilities, including virtual reality, until we could get the spike down, or we could definitely figure out a safe way to teach kids in the classroom. And I don't think there really is a safe way to teach kids in the classroom until we come up with a vaccine. That's my own personal opinion. Thirdly, he talks about doing more exercise and becoming physically fit. Okay, and that's related to the immune system. Another person's three things that's going to keep them going until we come up with a vaccine is tonic water, zinc, D3, and vitamin C. One person, they're throwing all of their dice on the family. And the family is a very important unit to help keep you going. Another person said their three things that they feel is going to help keep them going until they come up with a vaccine is my husband, food, and Netflix. And here's a thought-out response. What three things you feel are going to keep you going until they come up with a vaccine? This person put number 1, results of the animal-controlled trials of the vaccine. 2, results of the human-controlled trials to show that there is no adverse effects. And 3, all of the published elements found in the vaccine and what it does to help us. Those are good things. Another person's 3 items that they feel are going to keep them going until the vaccine is music, vitamins, and people. Another person's 3 things, they said God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. Well, okay, well that sums it all up right there. Of course, we need God. We need to say prayers. It's mental, physical, and spiritual. That you got to be in touch with God some kind of way, because that's going to help you keep your immune system going. And yet another person said the 3 things that they feel that will keep them going until there's a vaccine are vitamins, Christian radio, and talking or FaceTime with my son. So that's family. So a lot of people have like spirituality, practical things, and then the social element with their family. Just about everybody agrees on family and people and friends to support them. And we are going through a very stressful time. It's much more than what any one person should expect to go through by themselves in this lifetime. Oh, for God's sake, most of us went through Katrina, and we did it through community. We did it through helping each other out, and that was a terrible thing. But we saw things get to an end. We saw one business opening, another restaurant opening. We found that there was a concert here, a concert there, rock and roll open, We eventually got to the end, So a lot of us learned a lot of survival tricks from Katrina, and we're back to practicing them now. It's just that we need to see an end to this, because this is a very, very, very stressful situation. God save us all, and we hope that it does come to an end, and this isn't the end of the universe or the end of existence for the human race, and the cockroach stand around and laugh at us. That's the last thing we want. We don't want the cockroach to outlive us, and he probably will anyway, but not in this lifetime. I want to see an end to coronavirus, and I want to step on a few cockroaches before I start pushing daisies. Well, here's another end to another show of Uncle Jackie's Gumbo, episode 3. A little bit of this and a whole lot of that. The vaccine and a cockroach. And as usual, we're going to end in a Roy Rogers, Dale Evans run. So may the good Lord take a liking to you. And as Roy Rogers and Dale Evans used to sing at the end of every show, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Doesn't really matter about the weather. Everything is fine so long as we're together. Happy trails to you till we meet again. So if you got some things that you would like to suggest for a show, and tell me and give me some feedback on the show, my email is jackiegumbo@hotmail.com. That's JACKIEGUMBO @hotmail.com. And this is Uncle Jackie signing off for now. Until next time, partners, see you later, and may the good Lord take a liking to you.